I'm Roxie with Roxie's Broadway Breakdown. Welcome back to my channel. And today I want to talk about some of my favorite roles I've ever had in musical theater. Not to share like, oh, what a, fun resume I've had, but more to share what I have learned from some of these roles, what I've taken away from some of these shows. And so maybe if you have some of these roles, if you're working on some of these roles or something similar, if you're getting ready to audition for some of these roles, maybe this might help you in preparing for that. Who knows? I don't know. Take what you will from it. So not to go too far back into my history, but one role when I was a kid that made a very big impression on me was the role of Annie. Now, Annie is a huge role for anybody of any age. And I have to say that that being one of my very first roles did make a huge impression. And it wasn't a long run, so I didn't have an understudy. And that right there, I was like, oh wow, I can't get sick. I have to really take care of myself. And I was very disciplined. I was very focused, and I felt like I can't let down the cast. I think that goes without saying with any show. You feel, I always felt a bit of responsibility to all my fellow castmates. You know, you have to pull your own weight in any show. But I really learned that in that show, to not let anybody down and to always be responsible for yourself in a show. And so, but it was a great experience. And what I learned after the show might have been even more important was that those roles are very few and far between. I mean, especially for a kiddo. But I got a lot of rejections after that show. And I got a lot of bit parts, some featured roles. And yeah, I mean, those roles just don't come along that often. Those just very huge roles where, you're the big star. So, if you ever get one, enjoy it while it lasts. This is a crazy roller coaster ride of an industry. Moving on down, when I was older, I got a role, Tatty Joe, in Best Little Whorehouse in Texas. Now, this was a great experience because Tommy Tune, who helped create this show, is a native Texan. And his original production of this show was done in Houston in a very small theater. And some of these original cast members went on to do bigger things, Broadway, whatnot, but they came back to Texas. And some of them, when I was a kid, went on to be my directors, choreographers, dance teachers, vocal teachers. And so it was really great, taking from some of these people that had worked with Tommy Tune. And then one of them went on to choreograph, remount a very small production, much like the original production of Best Little Whorehouse in Texas that I was cast in. And so to learn from her all the original staging and choreography was phenomenal because I got to pick her brain. She really passed down the original notes, all the original staging, what his work ethic was like, and that was just tremendous. What I learned from her and what it was like, to really almost work with Mr. Tune himself. So if you ever get to do something like that, work with an original cast member of a show, obviously if you get to be in an original production, that's something else, but really get to work with somebody who's so close in a production, like a workshop production, original production, you get to pick a brain from working with some iconic choreographer, director, like somebody like that. Learn what you can. Another really fun production that I was barely made the age limit to audition, but I did. It was a huge cattle call, hundreds, thousands, the call went out, and I thought, I'm just going for the fun of it because there ain't no way in hell I'm making this show. It was a remount production of 42nd Street. And it was going to star Wanda Richard, Leroy Reams, Tammy Grimes, some of the biggest names, and they were in the original Broadway production. And I knew Broadway veterans were going to be there, people that had done the national tour, but I thought, I'm just going along for the ride. Let's just see what happens. Well, lo and behold, I made the show. The director liked me, and when I was young, I was very poppy and, you know, just that cutesy little show tapper. But, you know, he really listened for sounds. He liked my clear sounds. He liked my big stage voice. I guess he liked just the overall look. And I made it. So you never know, lesson one, you never know what audition to go to. Go for anything. Go for everything, because you never know what they're going to look for that day, what they're going to see, what they're going to like. So don't be afraid to go to any and every audition. I absolutely love doing this show. This is probably one of my favorite shows to date. It's a dancer's delight. I learned so much from watching, you know, Wanda Richard and Leroy Reams. I learned so much tap in that show, like even more tap. And the director was great. He was in the original production. I absolutely loved it. And yes, those are all their signatures on my poster. But anyway, and if you ever want to learn the original Aggie boot dance choreography or the original opening number, the original Broadway choreography for the opening number of 42nd Street, I will link those below. I have broken those down in different videos, and I'll link them below. Moving on, Rizzo. Rizzo in Grease was one of my favorite roles I've ever done. I am very different from Rizzo. I'm nothing like Rizzo. I'm not a party girl. That's just not me. Never have smoked, never drank, never, I'm nerdy. I don't know. That's not me. So I thought, well, I need to find something that I can relate to with Rizzo, because she does have to have that bravado and that, like, hey, I can lead the Pink Ladies. I know what I'm doing. I'm cool. But looking at Rizzo from another prism, she does have a very vulnerable side to her. She puts up this wall to kind of, you know, lock out everybody making fun of her and talking bad about her, because she does do all these things. And so a lot of her bravado is to, like, put up that wall and, like, I'm not going to let you see the inner me. So that vulnerability is there, and I thought, well, we all have insecurities. You know, none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. And so I thought, I'm going to lean into that vulnerability. And that kind of sarcastic humor that she has, that I got. Because I thought, yeah, I get that little sarcastic sense of humor. I have some of that. And because I tend to, when people, you know, hit me with something the wrong way, I'm not one to be like, ah, you know, I tend to be like, all right, I got you. I got you. I'm just going to hit you with a quick little zinger, you know? And maybe that's how I tend to react. So I leaned into her vulnerability, especially with, you know, there are worse things I can do. And I'm like, I see you. I get you. I know you're trying to hit me with something, but I'm going to stand tough, and I might let my guard down a little bit that you're going to see me, but damn it, I'm going to stand tough, and you're not going to see me cry. So I really tried to play both sides of it, of like, yeah, I can handle my stuff. I'm a Pink Lady. I didn't get where I am being a wuss, but you know what? I'm also human. I'm a human, and the things you say hurt me, but I'm not going to let you see me cry. So I really tried to do both sides of it, and I got a lot of positive feedback, and people were like, oh, wow, usually people that play Rizzo are just like, hey, bossy, and this and that and the other, and a lot of bravado, but we've never kind of seen two sides of Rizzo. So sometimes if you get a character that maybe you don't really relate to, you might try to find something that you do relate to and try to break it down for yourself, and maybe just don't always play into the stereotype of that character. Make it more real for yourself. Maybe it'll work for you. And then one of my favorite roles, just because it was just sheer fun, was the narrator in Joseph. I loved it vocally. I could just kind of just let my belt voice, you know, fly and just have fun with that role. And then also, it's such a campy, spoofy show anyway, it lends itself to being a little loose with the character. You know, we just kind of had fun with each other in the cast. We were sort of, not that you can ad-lib vocals or choreography, but we were definitely having fun with each other. A few asides to the audience, letting them in a little bit on the jokes. Not very many characters you can do that with, but this is one of those shows you can. And from opening night to closing night, it was a very different performance. Had it gone on much longer, we would have really been hamming it up more. I mean, Go 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 Joseph was like kind of just crazy by the last night. So really had fun with that role, like I say. So anyway, there are some of my favorite roles broken down. If you have some, please share them in the comments below. I'd love to know. And there you go. I'll see you in my next. Bye.